with Vice President Lala. Before beginning, we ask students to acknowledge that the lands of the University of California locations were built upon, were expropriated and founded upon exclusions and erasures of indigenous people's human rights throughout California. UCSB is built on Chumash land, namely that of the non-federally recognized Barbareño tribe. Our association should aim beyond mere acknowledgement and toward concrete efforts alongside those who continue to fight for the right to be respected as the original stewards of this land. It's roll call time. Chaudhry.
Present.
Diosmonian. Present. Sparter.
Present.
Hepburn. John.
Present.
Jones.
Present.
Lucan.
Present.
Lee.
Present.
Manikova.
Present.
Moise.
Present.
All lights on. Oh no. Yeah. Present. Reese.
Present.
Shurkin. Sussman.
Present.
Dan.
Present.
Wang.
Present.
And Wahidullah.
Present.
Okay, excuse absences. Let them roll. No?
Yeah, first time ever.
Motion to excuse Senator Fulham, due to medical reasons.
Oh.
For how long?
For the duration of the meeting.
There's been motion to use our lights on, due to medical reasons for the duration of the meeting. Wahidullah.
Okay.
There's been a second, we're now in discussion. It's hard to see out of these. Dan. Questions, questions? Any by consent? Seeing none, motion passing. That it. Okay. Guys, they're always this present and. Oh. Yes. Right. Okay, let's move to 8 acceptance of proxies. No. Public forum. Is there anyone here for public forum? Senator Lucan.
I move to require that all senators shut their laptops and turn off all electronic devices while the speaker speaks during public forum or to give a report.
You have to sign that was a little less.
Yes.
Rish. I like talking to it. Okay, so there's been a motion requiring that all technology and laptops be shut and turned off when a speaker is presenting in a public forum or recording for the duration of the meeting. Is there a second suspect? Second. There's been a second. Let's get Dan. The question, a couple of the question. So, you should like send. Okay, cool. Do we have it? Yeah.
Yeah, public forum.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Feel free.
Awesome.
Could you say your full name, please?
Yeah, Dan Siddiqui, Danielle, whatever you guys want to call me. First of all, thank you guys for
Wait.
Oh, speaking
You're
of
on.
this.
Yeah. Well, maybe
know this.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes to speak with 3 minutes for Q&A. Please say your name, pronouns, and enunciate, but refrain from yelling. Speculation, percentage, and attendance is prohibited and may result in your being removed from the ability to speak on the floor. Please know this meeting is being recorded. You may speak on any issue, whether it's on the agenda or not. Please include contact warnings will be graphic. You may only come up once and you may choose not to answer any questions. Do you agree?
Yes.
Is 3 minutes enough?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, feel free.
Okay, awesome. First of all, thank you guys for having me. Also, like, I'm not here to do or say anything controversial. I noticed some reactions when I came into the room, understandable. It's actually a pretty simple comment that I have here today. But it's about mainly 2 pieces of legislation that you guys passed during this term or may still be working on. I'm not sure. First of all, congratulations on soon to be completing your terms. I know it's very tough. It's a tough time to lead. You guys have had your own struggles this year, but you made it through. But I mainly want to talk about the first one is a bill to standardize ASU CSB departments and board commissions and units. I think I got the title right. I took a look at the piece of legislation. I think it's very well written. I think it's very well fleshed out, and I commend the authors. The second one was a bill to revitalize the academic focus of the internal vice president's office, which I believe was passed maybe earlier this term. Basically, last year around like May, I remember there was like sort of a transition document or a folder sent to the next incoming Senate leadership, including a lot of drafts of old legislation that I wrote that I was going to potentially work on, and also like some of my former campaign ideas that were trying to be fleshed out in legislation that never got passed, like adding intermediaries between the president and VCU chairs. So basically, I'm pretty much just here to say I don't know what you guys will do with those pieces of legislation or like that entire like general idea of like a form of government going forward into next terms, but I just kind of wanted to ask for some sort of acknowledgement, either like verbally or like asking me to be a student sponsor or whatever, just to have it notated on the record. And yeah, that's pretty much my only request and all I have to say to the Senate. Congratulations on completing you guys' terms. And yeah, I'm open to answering questions about like anything, even not related to this, what I'm speaking about, because I know it's my first time here and like I really need that. like I'll answer questions about anything. I'm here, I'm in the room, so feel free. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you guys.
So many questions. Yeah.
Hi Dan, so nice to see you. It's been a while. I guess for you, just as general, as someone who was formerly in the association, and just as a student in general, and someone who's probably well connected within the student body, how do you think the association had failed you in terms of structure, in terms of like support? How did it fail you, and how did it fail the student body in your experience?
That's a good question. I mean, I think staffing is one of the biggest issues in the association that you guys have also talked about. I know you guys have had struggles with advisors. We had a lot of struggles with advisors and staff last year, especially in winter quarter. We had multiple staff members take extended leaves of absence. There also is really no centralized training system for people coming into AS. There's a lot of soft skills that people are just thrown into. People are thrown into managerial and leadership positions without being trained on anti-discrimination laws or how to manage people, how to manage conflicts, how to really do anything. You're kind of just thrown into it. And so I think lack of training is a huge thing. I think lack of adequate staffing and advising is a huge thing. But I also think more pertinently, associate student sits within the context of the university, and the university right now sits within the context of universities across the United States, which are under attack by this presidential administration for many different things. But this university is primarily trying to protect itself from liability and from lawsuits, and that drains into every facet of its operations, including associated students. And that's why, in my opinion, you see oftentimes many covert attempts to control student leadership and to control things that happen, all going back to essentially the university's wishes. And so that would be one of the biggest things. Secondary would be staffing, as well as lack of training.
Is that all? Okay, on your, or please, no. Of course, it's the Senate's decision what is recorded, if in one way. And my understanding, I assume you would share this information. I don't see any route to open piece of, they both passed it. That's
Right.
One of them like a long time ago. I don't know that there's any way to revive them to note something there. I mean, I'm sure there could be something added onto an agenda. I can't speak to the department's one because I wasn't involved in the ideation process, but the academic one, there's like I can talk to you. There was no. It's a really simple idea. It's just two people had the same idea and came up with it. The Senate can record however they please. Doesn't really change much.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted it on the record. Whatever you guys think is like, whatever you guys want to do. So.
Thanks so much, then. Anyone else here for public forum? Yeah. State your full name, please.
Hello, my name is Eric Jacob Carlson.
Seconds. Jacob Carlson. Did you speak in agreement earlier?
Yeah, and I agree.
You agree? Is 3 minutes enough?
Yeah.
Feel free.
What I want to speak on is how, if I were to go back and amend the record to reflect that someone contributed, did something, had the idea, or ideated it in the first place, I would simply go into the agenda, open the agenda from that date, and add a little statement or add to the minutes, right? Hey, this time on May 20th, a motion was made in May 20th to reflect the record that student at large, Dan Siddiqui, co-sponsored this or did whatever, et cetera, things like that. That would be like the easiest, most straightforward way to do it, is just have it in the agenda or have it in the minutes. That way you don't have to pull agenda items off, your guys' tracker and then repass it. You don't need to do that. Just go into the minutes of the agenda. It's like 2 motions. I can answer questions when I'm done.
You think it's possible to just go into the agenda and say something like to retroactively reflect that student name co-sponsored?
Yeah, as long as you have a motion in today's agenda or minutes, and just say, and then like put down the date in the original agenda saying, hey, this edit was made on May 20th, 2026. There's no issue. You can track all the adjustments. It doesn't really matter what the language says. Retroactively or just motion to do it, just keep the date there. It makes it, everything just needs to be legible.
For, incoming senators who are not familiar, this is Eric Carlson from our Attorney General, a long time senator. He's not just like, oh. Alright.
Yeah. Sure.
If someone can find the agenda for where the departments was passed, that might be helpful. It's saving time. Okay, any questions? Okay, simple enough. We've done this in the past. Eric? Anyone else public forum? Okay, let's move to the so do we have a chance to represent the president?
Yeah, but nothing is said, but congratulations.
I thank you. Is there a UCPD representative present? GSA representative? USEN governance representative? Or IBCSD representative? Okay, let's move into HCSB reports. We have an administrative committee report. Boards and commissions report. Unit reports. President's cabinet. Okay. Great. Can you state your full name, please?
Yeah, Richard Fong.
Need investment advisory.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So. Let me read the speaker agreement real quickly. You have 3 minutes. What? Okay, pursuant to Senate Standing Rules, Section F+5, officers of the association providing reports must take questions from senators relevant to the matters projects presented. Knowing that, do you still wish to give a report?
Yeah,
But okay, feel free. You have 7 minutes.
yeah, in terms of reports regarding since our last report, I believe in the end of last quarter, we've made close to 20 transactions, since then generated roughly a 8% return in the past 2 months. Of those transactions, I will list out. In terms of our sale transactions, we've sold our positions in Plexi, Adobe, Illumina, Microsoft, NVIDIA, or we sold positions in NVIDIA, some of our positions in Netflix, PepsiCo, the KKR, Capital Corp, Louisiana, Pacific Corp, and Old Dominion Freight. In terms of our new positions that we've opened in the recent past 2 months, we've opened positions in BioLife Solutions, Plexi, or sorry, not BioLife Solutions. We've opened positions in CareTrust, in HubSpot, in Micron, in Oracle, as well as Coupang, the iShares 1 and 3 year Treasury Bond ETF, Eaton Corp, as well as the Canadian Pacific Kansas State. So yeah, that's pretty much the rest of the report.
Brilliant. Thank you, Richard. Any questions? John, Lucas.
I'm not super good at investment and everything, but I heard you guys did really great stuff with like the return rate and everything. Do you want to like give us some numbers to like just press us a little bit for their accomplishment and have done this year?
Yeah. I mean, since inception, over 30% return. I believe in the past year generated about, or in the past 3 years, about 70% return. Past 2 months, like I mentioned, around 8% return. So positive returns past a couple of time frames. So in line with S&P, as well as we would historically, since inception, have been the S&P benchmark. So have historically been outbeating S&P benchmark so far.
Lucas.
Hey, Richard, thank you so much for coming in and giving a report to us. Could you elaborate on the role of the investment advisory committee for a lot of the new senators in the room who may be unfamiliar with what you guys do?
Yeah, Yeah, for sure. So in terms of IC, what we do is we first and foremost we have assets under management, so we're over $30,000. So we currently actively invest and oversee those. But on top of that, recently this quarter we also do oversee, to my knowledge, I don't know the exact wording, but we also do oversee the 12 million in reserves, AS reserves. So this quarter we've been overseeing that as well. So that's kind of the new thing that's been happening this quarter.
Thanks.
Anything else, Howard? Oh, no.
Hi, Richard.
Yeah.
How you doing? Good to see you. With the new policies passed through the Senate, like the IPS and the legal code revisions, do you anticipate like more transactions in the future? Just maybe with
In terms of our package, like 30,000
yeah,
portfolio.
yeah.
I believe in terms of our portfolio, it's still relatively the same. We have roughly weekly pitches, so in terms of transaction volume, it will be roughly the same.
Gotcha. It's just operationally they happen soon.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
But if there's nothing else, I also want to reflect that, Richard, you've been really helpful and present in the Bloomberg project and in getting the investment advisory committee to be part of that, to use the space frequently. So I really appreciate that. I promise I can get over a draft of what the legislation will look like to you at 12. And I apologize, but we'll get it over to you and then hopefully at the beginning of the next term.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for your work. We appreciate it. Anyone else here for the business cabinet? Executive director's report?
Yeah, I have a point of order too.
Yeah.
All the laptops have to be closed.
Can I like look at the, take a look at the board?
Yeah,
No, you did remember. Hello, Sean.
Hello?
And last time.
One last time.
Yeah, you know the agreement, the minutes, feel free.
So, congrats everyone on a long but successful term, hopefully more than that, but. Some quick things, I spoke about this last time, I would like to get the elections chair to come be a regular contributor to the meetings so they can report back on what's happening, especially during spring, let's say. Just make it a weekly thing. But we have lots and lots of ideas for increasing turnout and participation for next year. So more people are running for office. There's only 38 this year, and that's not great. So if it was in the 80s, I'd be very happy. Staff wise, I believe Ely sent the list of 5 that we would hope to hire over the summer. So if there could be a vote tonight, that would be tremendous. So I don't have to explain the whole thing again to the next Senate, which I will anyway, but it would be nice not to do it twice in the same round. Additional lovely extravaganza. I hope everyone enjoyed the show that went. I saw a couple people out there. I was out taking photos. Went well. There were 11 medical calls, 2 people taken to the hospital, 0 citations, 0 arrests. So seems pretty good. And attendance was good. Attendance was around 7,500. So people seem to enjoy the show. Like, people seem to stick around longer. So it felt like more people were there too. People weren't just coming in for one act and then leaving. Is how my perception is. 20 into it. There's a publications. There's going to be a proposal coming next week. The new Senate. Sorry. But a few of you that are still around will hear it about publications and the need to put some money into that because we have a business plan and it's pretty central to generating revenue moving forward. So that's for next Senate. Sorry. And then just as I have a whole section here with wrap up, I have a divider for all the stuff I've been doing for the next Senate. But I think this Senate has been, obviously it's like one of the few that I've been here the whole time at the meetings the whole time, in this position the whole time. And there's been definitely more bills and resolutions this academic year than I think any other, probably by a large margin. And there's a massive amount of internal changes that have occurred. And that's a lot of thoughtfulness and intelligence that has gone into this. And I'm impressed. Like it's really good. I'm glad everyone's making a difference, attempting to fix some things that they see that are wrong internally with the organization. And I've been hearing, because we have a meeting with other UCASs every month, and just through the grapevine, I hear things, and other campuses having issues with turnout and things like that. And I think mostly our issue is that we just have enough candidates running, is like a big one. And at some of the other campuses, that's not what they're laying the blame on. It's just like, well, they don't think people care about student government, and they don't think people care about that kind of governing and that kind of making a difference. And my first-hand experience with this group is that that's not the case. And that this group cared, and this group has worked really hard to make a difference. And that I don't think that we have whatever, that's you say, or San Diego or Merced or whoever it was, that's like that. I don't think that's necessarily reflected in this. So it's one that had you all that compliment, because you all have like gone all in on all of this, and it shows. And but yeah, you're all very thoughtful people, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next. So thank you.
Very meaningful, and I'm sure it's been very easy and reliable to deal with us with no issues whatsoever. John?
Yeah, concur with the sentiment. I feel like we have, consider the passion that we have for fixing things also brings a lot of extra work on a lot of people, and Sean, unfortunately, was one of them. And thank you so much for sharing patient with us. And I guess I just have one question on the part that you said about the business enterprise.
Yes.
We do have a bill on the floor today, that I think you probably already read it. And I just kind of want to ask if you have any comments, things that you think that we can, change something about it and all that, I would want to share with us.
Is this the first right of refusal bill?
No.
The other one?
No, it's a merge
Professional
bill.
services.
Yeah, the service bill, that we're merging controller, chief of finance and the office of strategic operation.
Yeah, the full language, but I like the general idea of the focus of it all, right? Because that's why for the business, so there's assistant director of business services, right? And they used to supervise also the food bank, the garden and recycling. And I moved those positions out of that area into another area so that it would focus entirely on revenue generating services.
Okay.
And so like a focus. And I think this will help with that focus too. Like I want the student group and the staff group to just like put their heads together to work on that issue and not distracted, but like not have something that could be better served in their own unit, which is what's happening.
Thank you.
I saw you next time, but you were very fast to pass you.
Oh, yeah, it's walking around a lot.
Do you have any thoughts on the first right of refusal bill? Maybe we should have some background, so senators are familiar.
Oh, the general idea being that when groups, AS groups, I don't know if RCOs were included in that, maybe RCOs get funding through us are more included. Okay. So that when you need something printed that we are capable of printing, that you need to go to AS publications first. First off, because it keeps the money in the organization, and it's cheaper for the most part than going across over there. So that's the idea. And groups already benefit from getting 50%, 25% cheaper print jobs. And if you can focus on the things that student groups need, which is printing, banners, posters, stickers, and we started doing that, and some of the other areas. I don't know. I have this dream of program board printing old posters, and as a kind of like retro thing. I think that'd be really good with alumni. And I'm part of an alumni group online that has like 18,000 people. So that'd be like a nice thing to stand up to them and oh, it's from 2004. These are the acts that were at Extravaganza and that kind of thing. Or they saw Snoop at Thunderdome. That's
For the incoming senators, could you give us a little background on where publications currently sit? So what is the professional staff picture? How much money at their disposal? What is the plan for expanding their teams?
right. So currently, with the budget, all we have before, right, is the printers. So, but they hire a handful of student staff. We have the assistant director of business services sits down in that office. There is no publications coordinator, so that position has been doing both of those jobs for the past 6 years, I think, something like that, which is not optimal. and also not focused, right? So they're not focusing on expanding the businesses when they're having to do the print shop. So, and that print shop will not be the same print shop. They'll be doing much additional things, including kind of marketing and materials and promotions and things like that. So it's basically one staff, student staff, and they generate revenue, just not a ton of revenue at the moment because there's fewer faculty doing readers, like physical readers now than there used to be. And we used to do like note taking and additional things that would like come in. But I think if we focus it, then it'll come back.
Sussman.
Thanks, Sean, for coming in, and thank you for the comments, much appreciated. So on the topic of publications, one of our policies, and I don't know which one of it is now because all of our policies have shifted around numbers, say that if an RCO or an VCU is sponsoring an event, they have to have the AS logo on them, on those flyers. I'm sure it's a much chagrin of the finance committee, much of that does not happen. And I know that for a fact. So I was wondering if, RCO or VCU's printing AS publications next year that can be enforced through the publication staff.
Good idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea. So it can be like, this doesn't have the AS logo. I noticed that, you can be in a gentleman. I noticed this doesn't have the AS logo on it, and as you're required because you got funding or you're an AS group. So yeah, I think that's good.
Thanks.
Oh, you're right, sir. Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about AS publication, I just have I'll make it short. So since we didn't really pass, I think AS publication wanted bigger budget than to get approval for this year, for like machine upgrade and everything they told us about. Do you think it's possible for them to like first focus on the, more procedural side of things? What I'm talking about is basically the website. Website is a little really hard to use sometimes, especially for students. If you're not like, departments or like, entities within, it's really hard. It's really confusing to use. My bad. But yeah, I was just thinking, is it possible to improve on that side before we purchase more investment on improvement of machines and all?
Yeah, Brian and the FinOps team are working on that end of things. Like, how can we make it easier to charge RCOs and AS groups, make it smoother, and also like, yeah, because we don't want it to make it difficult. Because they're like, you're required to do this. Now jump through these 10 hoops. Like, that's not fun. That's not fun. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sean.
Give up.
Advisory reports. Executive officers reports. Is President here? No. I'll go like 5 seconds and say that. I said the officers. You'll forgive me if I did. That we secured the room needed in the library for the Bloomberg terminals. I promised you guys we would follow up on that since you allocated a lot of money to that project. So it's on the second floor. I forget the name. It's in a prominent enough location. We're figuring out the remaining steps, but it's happening. Okay, executive office members reports. Yes, hello. Will you guys full names, please? I just want to your full name, please.
Omar Ukiami.
You've heard the agreement, I believe. Go for 10 minutes.
Cool. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'll make it pretty quick. I've just been kind of, now that we're kind of towards the tail end of things, I've been kind of thinking a little bit. But I saw there was a message that the chancellor sent out. And I looked through it and there was mention of coordination with UCPD and the safety committee regarding MSUs, et cetera, et cetera. So I was wondering if there has been discussions about safety committee becoming a permanent group within AS, especially since a message has been sent out to the whole university regarding this, and there is a collaboration with safety committee and UCPD. So I was wondering if I know since it first started as a temporary committee, so I was wondering if there was discussions about this as a permanent committee. So yeah, I know we've all been very busy. I've been very busy too, so it's something I've been kind of thinking about, and I appreciate any clarity or what kind of discussions have been going on about that.
Yeah, thank you. Self, if you can give some clarification.
Yeah, well, hi, good to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
So for context for people in the room, there used to be it should have been a commission, a public safety commission, years ago, and that became inactive. Just as, you know, students left the association, things kind of tend to die out. And this year, as many students are concerned, including myself, we have seen a rise of attacks on campus on students and student safety. And my hope is that it becomes a permanent commission next year. I'm still going to be sticking around. That was not the plan, but I'll be sticking around next year. And my goal next year is to continue working with Lagoon Oversight, as well as the events and the atrocities that we continue to see on a weekly basis on this campus, including the sexual assault this past week, which should be condoned by the Senate. And it's the first president pro tem to do. And it's very frustrating that it continues to happen, not only at this campus, but campuses across the country. But I'll still be here next year to ensure that student safety is still a top priority. I'll be working in coordination with the committee president, Rath, to ensure that students are cared for and are in collaboration with UCPD as well as campus administration, because that should be the foremost project and vision that Associated Students brings next year, because it's needed. So I'll still be here.
Yeah, appreciate it, John.
That was not a question.
I forgot my questions now.
Yes.
I have a question though. I'm all for the idea of safety committee because, you know, as a woman, we care about safety, right? But the thing I would propose as alternative, and I will see if you are open to the idea as well, and for the incoming senators as well. Is it possible for us to rather make a new permanent separate committee called Safe Committee? What if we host it under Advocacy Committee under Senate? In a way that I'm very aware there's a lot of overlapping membership already with a lot of those committees that we establish under Senate, that we have a couple senators sit on it and we hire officers outside from it, because this may sound a little bit direct, but in my observation of this whole year, this like Senate committee have a little bit of struggling with their particular missions. Other than finance committee, obviously, they have very clear objectives. But other committees have a little have been taking some time to figure out the language that in the legal code is very general. There's no like for finance committee, there's specific like you approve money. Other committees have a little more general language. I'm asking, are you open to the idea that we host it under like permanently under Advocacy Committee of the Senate?
At least for me, I would be open to it. I mean, so I'm under the UD office on the police liaison, and so far it's been a little bit of a struggle. Kind of, AS is huge, but you know, so far at least for me, it's like I just feel like I'm like soloing a lot of this intermediate, like being the intermediate between students and UCPD and the sheriff's office as well. On top of all the other things, it's like this should be a permanent committee's job. It's a full-time job. So I would be open to it. I mean, at least in essence, what I kind of was hoping for is, at least in my time with like talking with UCPD and like these various law enforcements, is that there is this, for lack of a better word, disconnect between what they think the students need and their concern. A lot of times they don't even know they're concerned actually, because it's like, there's no line of communication. And I think AS and you know, anyone that wants to be involved in that kind of cooperation is like essential, because they can only know so much. And it's having some sort of permanent committee, however that may look like. I'm all open for it. But if that makes the job easier in terms of language and such, I'm open to it. I mean, as long as there is some sort of student representation talking with UCPD, it's kind of a goal. Because there's a lot of concerns that they don't think about, what we think about, because we are students. So I guess, yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
So on condition, do you have a question?
I do have a question this time. We'll forget it. Sorry. On your limited experience with the student safety committee that was temporary this year, Did you find that to be a useful relationship that we built with VCPD? And do you think a similar fashion of how we operated should continue next year, or would you prefer to see changes?
Definitely, I think it was super beneficial. I mean, the thing with that kind of relationship with law enforcement, it has to be consistent. And I'll be frank, we haven't met at all this quarter, which was pretty concerning for me. But that consistent relationship is really important. And I think as a committee, I think the few meetings we've had was super beneficial. We touched on a lot of really important topics, and I think I gave a lot of great insight to Chief Bly. It's just that consistency is really important because there's so much stuff that happens on campus, especially on the police end, and especially since they work with SPSO, the Sheriff's Department, CHP, and there's so much stuff we don't, so much context and developments we don't get unless we have like a consistent meeting with them. And I've been trying to, and so far it's only been once a month, and even then I feel like it's an uphill battle. I plead for Elon. So I definitely think it's very beneficial. I think it's the consistency that I think we have to keep in mind, as well as involving other stakeholders such as AS Take Back the Night, and maybe other student groups, getting their involvement within this committee, at least, depending on the agenda item, having them invited and speak on the issue and stuff like that. I think opening that line to all students, not just, within, Senate or this, advocacy committee, et cetera, et cetera. I think that'd be also a very important thing to keep in mind. Almost.
May have permission to ask follow-ups if needed. Okay. I have just a question. So you said like something to meet like once a month, and your role as police liaison in EVPLA office is kind of puts you at the forefront of like being the median between AS and UCPD, in which there's been a multitude of different projects currently worked on, such as Campus Safety Lagoon, and the most recent, case that happened this past weekend, or a little bit more than a week ago, happening on campus, and there's just like been a buzz of concern from among students about their own safety here on campus, especially also the presence of immigration control enforcement on campus. I really want to ask, is it the best idea to form a committee, or is it best to just have something that's unofficial? Like have some people that are really interested in this idea and Take Back the Night. Just set up meeting times, like it being cohesive, not necessarily an extra committee that we need to legalize. Because I feel like oftentimes you can arrange things without making it illegal. Not everything needs to be legalized for it to be effective. So what are some ideas that you have that, is it possible for you guys to just say like, hey, like maybe this depends on UCPD's availability. Like maybe it's not, like it's difficult to do these things with like UCPD, or because sometimes working with different departments not in AS could be like kind of considering their time and considering everything. Are you like open to that? Are you open to exploring that, or have you tried doing that maybe?
That's a great question. I guess I am open to it. I am a little hesitant though. Just because, like I said, that consistency and that consistent relationship is important. And I think, this has been like a decades-long issue of students' insight in policing and the police's insight on policing, right? And that there's this disconnect that has been like in all campuses, honestly, not even ours, for such a long time. So I think there needs to be some sort of centralized, I'll wrap up. There has to be some sort of centralized permanent structure in place to ensure that, okay, this is where people can go to, give their insight, and there's a centralized thing where people can go as who are students and can talk with UCPD, if that makes sense. At least, and within my position, it's a very general position that I can do so much with it, which has like a lot of creativity. I can do like workshops and monthly meetings, but it's also like there's no specificity. So if for example, if someone new came to take my position, they might not know what they're doing because there isn't like a set thing to follow, if that makes sense. So I'm open to. I'm a little hesitant. I think there has to be something consistent, because this has been such a long-term issue regarding
policing and what students' concerns are. So I'm moving to. All right, thanks. I guess that's on me off. Thanks so much for waiting. No more executive office members? Administrative reports? Senator reports? Oh, wow. These are not committee ones?
No.
Oh, he's, I love hard. So.
I don't want this to be like a long speech or anything. I just want this to be for like the new senators coming in, because I never wrote like a transition report, and I just wanted to like kind of pass on some future thing or like some things that I was currently working on, but I didn't have the time to kind of fully push it through. And I think it would be great if like perhaps after hearing this speech, like some of the new senators are interested in like taking on some of the things I was working on, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna stay in AS next year, so I don't know if I could like really foresee these or like enact them, but at least I can be of guidance next year if anyone wants to work on any of these. So, my name is Nadine, and I've been in Senate since like last year, so I spent half a term like during the 75th Senate, and then I've had a full term this year, and I spent my entire time also in the Finance Committee. I've worked mainly on two things this year. The first thing I've done is I helped start and basically kick in the AS IB2U Rent Support Program, which is this new program in AS that allows students with financial crisis living in Isla Vista go to the Office of Financial Aid and receive grants through the Financial Crisis Response Team, which they can receive within 48 hours to pay their rent if they absolutely can, or they're facing potential like eviction from their like place in IB. And this is of course something for benefiting and giving security to students living off campus, but it also was a streamline for AS entities that have a lot of money sitting in their organization that is forced to be only spent on a certain mission statement to be basically a facet of spending that money, so we don't have locked up money in AS. So that's gonna be like kicking in the start of actually this quarter, and it'll be great if there's maybe someone who's interested in just following up to make sure this program is doing good and not just collapsing, or like seeing if it's actually being successful, because I mean maybe I'll check in, but I won't be in AS, so I can't actually officially do anything about that. The second thing I worked on and I do want to check up on are someone to take on this further. And I think I worked with incoming Senator Evan DiCarlo on this as well. Is starting fall 2027, the executive director of dining, Joe Horst, as well as the vice chancellor of HDAE, which is Housing, Dining, and Auxiliary Enterprises, Willie Brown, and vice chancellor of student services, Mike Miller, and executive chancellor Gary McPherson have come to an agreement with me that fall 2027 AS Dining would have retail services within our meal plan, which means that students can spend some of their meal plan on areas such as Panda Express, the Arbor, and this would be an option open to all, of course, freshman students because they have to have a meal plan. There's currently no benefits to an off-campus meal plan. I'm hoping to bring that in, and I'm hoping to extend this will hopefully encourage more places to open up in the USEN so we can have it more bustling, as well as I want to eventually it's basically having dining dollars in the meal plan. It's an integration. Maybe this would extend to like Grubhub, similar to what UCSD has, and I have a lot of hopes for it in the future, but this is just the beginning of it. So I would like someone, if they're interested in continuing on this, make sure that we get an official MOU, because it is a verbal agreement that they have said their word on it, and they said they were signed for it, but since I'm turning out, I don't think I can get that official signature. And I know I was working with Evan on this, he might be taking this on as well, but if anyone else wants to help and support him, as well as take this on, I think that will be greatly appreciated. And I know this is kind of getting a bit long, but I have a few more things I'm working on. I really wanted to pass a huge transparency bill. I think maybe this was brushed upon a little bit by Senator John, but I don't think she was maybe talking about the whole AS website. But our official AS website isn't or for Senate isn't the first one that comes up when you search it up. It's actually the 9th one. And when you log on to the first one, it doesn't show our minutes and everything, and it's really confusing for people. And I want to make sure that on our website, we don't just have all our minutes, but it's very clear. It's very well organized. I want to make sure that any other not correct websites are taken down, and I want to pass a transparency bill that includes full preliminary budgets, final budgets from recent years, as well as commentary, which is something that's not currently enforced during our AS budget cycle. AS budget cycle is where senators, it happens during the spring, decides how much money every single AS org is going to get budgeted. This is for non-lockdowns, and basically confirming our I don't know, our budget for next year. It's kind of implied. So I kind of want that transparency bill. It will be a very long one, a very big project to kind of be passed on. I also want to work on senator accountability. As senators, we balance a bunch of things, and sometimes with the lack of staff help, it's a big job for liaison committee, but being really in communication with BCUs, and if there's going to be senators that are always liaisons for certain BCUs, just holding them accountable to communicating, as well as RCO accountability, which is a completely different thing. But we may be losing the position of chief compliance officer, and the finance committee does a really great job at handing out money, but sometimes we can't figure out how to make sure that RCOs comply with and follow all of our financial policy even after we give them money and use it respectfully and responsibly. So, and it's kind of a tricky thing because it's hard to kind of enforce things, but I want to work on passing policy and revising either financial policy and procedure, or I want someone to do that, or kind of setting up some sort of provisions to make sure we have that. So if anyone is interested in any of those things that I talked about or wants to continue working on them, please feel free to contact me. Just speak to me if I stand up or after you get swearing. Or my name is Nadine, and I'm sure you guys can. I can give your contact. Give you my contact. But yeah. Have a great time. Congratulations on getting elected as senators, and you guys are gonna get sworn in today. So I just hope it all goes well. That you guys have a successful next year.
Do we have unanimous consent to keep senator reports to 3 minutes?
Consent.
Really? Who was next?
Me.
Matt.
Okay, mine's okay. I just wanted to make an announcement to those in the audience and to my colleagues and stuff. I have really good news about a grand opening about an event I'm happening. On June 1st, 5 p.m. at the SRB third floor terrace, we'll be having the grand opening of the first UCSB SRB Reflection Prayer Contemplation Space University. This is something that, as you guys know me well, means a lot to me. It's something I've been communicating about, and it's been a pretty year-long campaign, an initiative that many students have been talking about, and I think just revolving on the topics talking about safety, inclusivity, communication of safer spaces on campus is something I've been working on as an individual, communicating to administration about, to have a space. Because out of all the UCs wide, we've had 0 space on campus that people can go to pray, to meditate, to contemplate, and just have more sanctuary space on campus. It's something I've been communicating with administration for. It will finally be having an opening on June 1st. And we'll be having a lot of the department leaders, religious studies department. I also work as a youth coordinator for the Interfaith Society Santa Barbara. So many religious leaders will be coming there. Many celebrities, a lot of people that are really excited about this particular initiative because it's something that a lot of the community has been looking for, is having more safer spaces in UCSB. So I would really love for anyone to attend to that or just spread the word. I'll be sending out a flyer soon about that in Slack, but I just really love to kind of highlight about this because in the past, many communities I know about have to pray, in the past, have to pray outside, in the stairwells of the library, outside in the grass, people take photos of them, and say a lot of mitigating things. But this is something that now students can go to and finally have a space that they can feel safe in. And I think that's something that I feel like everybody needs. So it's something I wanted to highlight. And if you guys want to attend to that, I'll send out a flyer about that soon. So thank you.
It's pretty poetic that it's absolutely the end of the end of long of stuff. No,
It was hard to read.
it was.
Sure.
Brilliant. Oh, okay.
Hey, so I met Monday with UCP and DFSS. And the meeting went very well. It was about the good, and basically the processes right now, DFSS is on board for this, which is kind of a huge hurdle, and they see the need for Virginia Lighting as well. So going forward, we have to go through the ecological research institute, I believe. That's the Office of Police Strategy. That's kind of the next step. And then from there, if we get approval, we can go back to DFSS. We'll have to use Associated Students funds for them to draw plans up. And then once they draw up plans, that'll be brought to the Coastal Commission to the university. So it's going to take a while, but that's where things are at, and it's moving slowly. The other item is the library MOU, which is being re-signed. So the hours that we are currently operating at right now, just 7 a.m. to 3 a.m. Late night study from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. extended. Those are going to be in full operation in the fall. We've been meeting with the Office of Development, as well as the student vice chancellor of student affairs, and the library as well. But originally, the library was looking to cut back hours to 9 p.m. on the weekends for late night study. So we're lucky enough that we've made an agreement for the fall quarter, and in the interim, they'll look for a donor. That should be signed by the end of this week. But yeah, the library will stay open for the fall quarter, and we are always looking to get that towards 24/7. Thank you.
You guys have a big task on your hands with that. John Manone.
Do you Senator take questions for that?
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so you go ahead and do this one.
To first personally congratulate you for all the effort you have done within this year and fulfilling your Hoffa Association and the very big work. And my question for you is are you proud of yourself, sister?
Talk about that after. Yeah. So we've got stuff to do. So it's my answer.
What's the bigger hurdle? Is it the next step with Ms. Stratton, or is it the coastal commission? If you don't want to comment on that.
No, I'll try to be as diplomatic as possible. The pushback that we have seen from groups that are concerned about the endangered species on campus have a rightful concern. However, that concern seems to be halting the process of this project at a level that I wasn't anticipating. That doesn't mean that this project is not going to go forward, but it's just a larger hurdle than I anticipated.
Okay, so Horace, report.
Thank you, Chair. All right, I'm gonna try and keep this very brief. Considering that I've done a plethora of things this year, they're all at this moment at a different step in the process. I wanted to update everyone on everything because it's been quite a while since we've seen some of these things. And also I figured the upcoming Senate may find this useful. So first off, the mobile food pantry. Finally received food literally yesterday. About $2,000 worth of food. All of the other logistics are prepared, and we just need to find a date and a time when we're going to distribute the food. So that's happening very soon. A UCOP policy guide, something that I've been personally working on along with two of the outreach staffers, is a literal policy guide that analyzes every single policy that UCOP has. We started with the student affairs portion, the student matters and academic affairs, and we have commentary for every single policy as it relates to AS, and actions that senators and or anyone in AS can take with that. It's very, very enlightening information. We have way more power than we realize. UCOP policies, that's going to be published very soon, so I encourage everyone to look at that. The library HIP boards, we passed that last week, I believe. We are submitting a requisition currently. We should have about 13 very large whiteboards arriving at the AS office within the next week or so. The soup kitchen, this one hasn't been touched on in a while. The reason this gold is because Hillel took an extremely long time reviewing everything legally. They are done and they are fully prepared to launch this, and they are fully on board with the idea. Obviously, it's outlasted the Senate, so the next Senate would have to pass the funding in order to do that, preferably in a HIP proposal. Talk to me and I'd be happy to explain how that works. The GenCo. the Genco laundry detergent dispensers on everyone's tracking. We have received all of the materials, everything, and we are currently finalizing the MOU with Billy, the operations manager, and those are going to be installed by fall quarter of this upcoming year. Cool. The fellowship that Layla Marokni and Pyramid Fellow and I created is accepting applications until a couple of days from now. We literally partnered with state offices from the local all the way up to the federal level, quite literally. So I highly encourage everyone to look into that, send it to people. It's a phenomenal opportunity that I'm very proud to have taken part of. The SRP building, something that we're working on with this Perkin, something that I've been pushing personally extremely throughout my entire tenure, is currently undergoing a feasibility slash necessity study. The next step that the Senate is going to be asked to do is going to be committing money to an architectural design, which will essentially garner us some sort of leeway, leverage, if you will, in the future of the building, which I highly encourage anyone who's going to be here in the future to participate in. It's literally a building that we have the opportunity to influence on this campus. Major project that is an absolute indispensable necessity for the student body. And then the IDCSD thing, we all committed about $10,000 to IDCSD. Also, ironically, and a fiscal study, IDCSD is projected to become a city within the next 2 to 3 years. That actually is everything. Are you ask questions, please? You guys have anything?
Not now.
I'll give you guys what you go.
Yeah.
You elaborate real quick on the 2 to 3 year thing. That sounds very promising. Like, did they give you any details? Is there a report?
I mean, so basically the fiscal study is gonna be the determinant, right? Like, if we are financially feasible, then we simply begin an application process with another entity that has the responsibility to actually grant citizenship, or excuse me, cityhood. Citizenship's like the buzzword recently. Cityhood. And so that process typically takes 2 to 3 years. And so currently we need to understand fiscal feasibility. And then in theory, if they're feasible, the projection is 2 to 3 years for that larger entity to finally accept and for us to move forward. There are some logistical curves, but that's the general idea.
Sure, can I ask for quick, yeah, so what's the fiscal, like estimate they have come out?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not currently complete.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they're doing the report right now, and I don't even have the numbers off the hand. That I feel completely confident in. We can talk about it offline.
I just think it's very promising, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can answer, I recently spoke to Spencer.
Nice.
So essentially what needs to happen is IBCSD is going to the board of supervisors, our favorite. That was a joke for the senator, sorry. And they have to request a plethora of data, because the data is so much, like they have to get approval from the county board of supervisors, and that's gonna happen over the summer. So they're kind of looking to mobilize to have students say, well, we want cityhood. So please hand over the data so we can do a survey and study to see if cityhood is actually viable. So that's gonna happen this summer. It can happen over Zoom. I talked to Spencer. You guys can call to the county board of supervisors over Zoom and lobby them or just give your testimony. But that's what's next. And then from that, we can get the actual fiscal number of what it's likely to be a city.
Man.
Got a plethora of items on the agenda, should we? Okay, thank you guys. Let's move into. Which of you guys?
Oh, right now. I think this might like my.
Okay, let's move into new business. We start with. We'll start with a resolution calling for increased funding for financial support. Yeah, professional development programs for undocumented students, Shurkin, Jones. I expected we get through these pretty promptly. All three, please go for
I'll go. Hey, hi guys, Penny Sanders. Awesome. Yeah, so basically, Leanne came to us, President Metzger, with a couple of ideas. One for I'm kidding. Wrap it up. One to guarantee housing for undocumented students, specifically university housing.
And then one for, it's three. Increased fund, oh my god, what is this? Hold on. One for increased funding and financial support, so, this one, the housing one, I know that's like kind of a big ask, like guaranteeing housing for undocumented students. But bear with me, so basically, when undocumented students try to get on off-campus housing, it's really hard because there's a request for a social security number, a cosigner, and a lot of times you can't ask your family to be a cosigner. If you are undocumented, there's high costs for security deposits, and actually, the Office of Basic Needs used to have a security deposit program, which kind of sunsetted, so that might be a cool thing to bring back. Just future idea for the future senators in the room. And also limited transportation options, like to go to housing tours and stuff like that. So basically, this is kind of like a big idea. Like it is a positional resolution, like nothing really concrete might happen. But a lot of these resolutions that are positional, they get a conversation going about certain issues. And I would really recommend, looking at this resolution and kind of thinking about how we can help undocumented students get guaranteed housing, or at least a lot more help than they currently get, which is pretty much zero. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this right now.
Yeah, so the first one on the agenda, it's the one for increased funding, and it's emphasizing the importance of existing programs like the Dream Fresh, the Monarch Opportunity Scholarship, and the Meal Plan Scholarship. So even though it's not creating anything new and setting that into stone, it's not codifying anything, it is urging the university to expand these programs so that they can better meet student needs. As for the second one, for housing, Erica summed it up pretty well. It's really just urging the university to treat undocumented students as a vulnerable student population that is deserving of housing protections and support. So he's not in the room with us tonight, but a big thank you to President Esker, not just for, bringing this to us, but for everything she's done this year. For her request, she would like to see this tabled to committee and then brought right back out so that we can pass it on the floor tonight, if that's agreeable to the rest of us, so. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Motion to refer resolution calling for increased funding for financial support and professional development program for undocumented students to advocacy.
There's been a motion to refer this to the advocacy committee. Is there a second, partner?
I was not seconding.
What? Is there a second? Just one second. The second round of discussion. Stand. Question. There's like a sign. Seeing none. Motion passes. Awesome.
Motion to discharge the resolution fund, the resolution calling for increased funding for financial support. The resolution.
There's been a motion to discharge this resolution from the advocacy committee. Is there a second? Wait, look. Second. Second discussion on question. Following question. So the consent.
Objection.
So.
I think since it's a positional resolution, isn't it better to like just let the next senator carry it, pass it on their term, so it kind of like continues the position, or do you want to just get it done?
Well.
You want to say it?
Oh, I was, wait, I understand objection as an. No, how to, okay, I understand my.
Do you receive your whole question? Yeah, okay, we're now in discussion. You
Yeah.
say your thing. Don't.
Yeah, I do see the value in doing that. On kind of like deciding that the body view that like it was President Metzger who wanted to see this passed during the time. Oh, that like bring it out. So I don't know if the next Senate would like to pass it, repass it, bring that to the end of the term, and then actually highly recommend that, but yeah.
Would you say we don't have enough time for it, but also can we not suspend the standing rules to just pass it without voting this? May I make, we do that for going forward.
So maybe we get this out.
Yeah,
In the middle of the month.
I wasn't, this is.
We're now in discussion.
Who's the second?
It's fine.
No.
Call for it.
Question, call for the question?
That's.
Any objection, like consent, seeing none, motion passes to nine. Jones,
Motion to adopt the resolution.
you motion to adopt this resolution in a second, Shurkin. Second, discussion, call the question, call the question, consent, any objection, like consent? Okay, leave vote time, spreadsheet, motion one, like 20 seconds max. We're 16, man. Somebody can confirm. No, it's 16. Medical, are you not voting?
I'm sure it's okay, yeah. Sorry.
Okay, 11-1-4. Motion passes. Congrats.
Oh.
Yeah, we got it. We're now in a resolution of all universities to guarantee, wait. So it is a separate. When a resolution following the university guarantee university housing for undocumented students, authors, feel free.
Yeah, we did just go over this one.
Yeah.
Introduce them both at some point.
I'm sorry, but I kind of flipped it, I explained it already, should I talk about it again?
Please.
Okay. I don't want this to come off really bad, but, then don't say it.
No, like, don't make it. Sorry.
I don't know. I'm just, this bill for me kinda is like balancing, like, do we want this or do we not? Because I feel like it's a good thing in its name, but I feel like in execution, it could lead to something bad. I think it's really great if we can have guaranteed housing for all undocumented students because it could be hard for them. It's literally all the points. They sometimes ask for social security numbers, cosign requirements, high cost for security deposits and rent, and stuff like that. But allowing for this bill to happen basically is telling the university, hey, you didn't keep track of any student that's basically undocumented and know where they live, basically. And oftentimes university, even though they don't want to leak like student information to the government, they end up being forced to do it. And by having guaranteed student housing for undocumented students, it could mean that the university just has a list of exactly where any undocumented students live. So if they, even though they don't want to, it ends up falling in the hands of ICE. ICE knows exactly where to show up. And I don't know, I just feel like you can say it, like it could be worse if we don't have this because then they may not get housing at all. And some students may not be able to figure it out and it's gonna put more financial crisis on them. But I feel like it's just, for me, it seems like a huge risk to this.
Nice. Please promptly, sure can, John.
Yeah, so that was my concern too, when looking at this, however, there are a lot of other programs that are within, the undocumented student office and basic needs that deal with the sensitive information, very well, and definitely, like, this would not be something that would fall from that precedent. So I just wanna make that known that there are like a lot of different other programs that do have like they do have that information, but different campuses like all across the UC system do deal with it very sensitively because of the gravity of the situation, so.
Jones.
Just to clarify also, it's not a bill, it's a positional resolution, so this is not codifying or solidifying anything, it's just opening the door, the pathway to have a conversation, and if they land on a different, you know. Yeah, that's, I guess, more accommodating, and that's what it is, but this is not like directly putting any students in harm, it's just trying to make an action focus. So.
I generally have a question.
Nice.
Okay,
Briefly.
my second question is for Erica. You mentioned that they already have programs that have similar information. Is this specifically housing information? Okay.
Yeah, it kind of, yes. I'm gonna answer your question a little bit indirectly. Like rapid rehousing, they do have students that fall in this demographic that are undocumented. And they do deal with those situations with undocumented students, so it's not the specific like undocumented students office, but they do have programs that kind of fall into this.
Reese, hopefully last thing.
Yeah, very quickly, thank you, Chairman Jones, this is a great resolution. There are other programs on campus where if you apply to continue living on campus after your freshman year, you're given priority. It's not that you're being like tracked. I'm not sure if that's a misunderstanding. But if an undocumented student were to, like this resolution supports that if an undocumented student were to apply for an additional year as a second, third, or fourth year, wanting to remain on university owned or on campus housing, it would make it a priority. There's like the Guardian Scholars and Palm Scholars. There's a couple other couple other scholarship programs and groups who are given priority housing. And so I would support a resolution like this because with the challenges that come with being an undocumented student, knowing that the university will prioritize you and potentially give you an apartment or a university owned housing is extremely.
Okay, seems like we've made both sides of the argument. If you guys want to make some motions, that seems like a problem for us. Oh no, motion to vote on it. That has been referred to him. You rescind?
I thought I guess, yeah, fine.
Wait, love.
Motion to refer a resolution calling on the university to guarantee university housing for documented students that absent assistance.
There's been much refer this resolution to the IBC. Is there a second like?
Second.
Is there another question? I'll start question. Don't go question. Maybe like consent, motion passes. Sussman.
Motion to discharge resolution fund for increased funding for. Motion to discharge the resolution from happens.
There's been a motion to discharge the resolution. Is there a second? Second.
Second.
I'll question, don't know the question, consent, good, like consent, passes on the floor. Oh no, motion to vote on it, there's been a motion to vote on it. Y'all are really. Guys, someone's for it, please. Brief.
Second.
We're second, we're now in discussion. So, question, you going on question, consent, you got that consent? Okay, the motion is due 15 seconds this time. Chair. After tonight's. What?
No, it's.
Okay, we're at 934. Can you confirm mine?
Yes.
Okay, 934 motion passes.
925. Motion to.
Bro. Okay, 925 motion passes. Your reflector, please. Okay. I don't know, what do you?
I just said do it under action.
Okay, do you want to do the thing? The motion?
Motion, I sent you. Oh, I.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Motion to reallocate $10,000 from Phi Alpha Delta Pre-Law Fraternity account number 723 from the sponsorship of student event hosting director Troy Asher and associate director Richard Cook at ILP to social conversation account number 779 at the request of both registered Catholic organization that are co-sponsoring the event.
Everyone heard that?
Yeah.
Hands ready, second, Sussman. Second. There's been a second, we're now discussion. Fine. Call for the question, sir, the objection, I consent. It's not a financial motion in the sense that it's approving funding. It's already been approved, it's agreed. You know,
I'll recognize those people.
okay, motion great, please quickly. 10 for each, sounds like it's pretty healthy, all those people for going.
For your information,
Where the solo vote? Okay, Maudie, again. Okay, 12-1-3. Correct. 12-1-3, motion passes, Lugan.
If, what was the original language of that for? Is if we motion money for a specific purpose and then we allocate it, I think it still has to be used for that purpose, so I just wanna make sure there's no issues with that.
Done.
Yeah, basically, I'm surprised nobody asked me about it during the discussion, but basically what happened is that Eddie Barajas, yeah. So basically they co-sponsored an event with PAD that you funded for is for a speaker event, which is what Copeland College do originally. And what happened is basically they want to transfer the money to one account, so it's easier for them to do requisition and stuff. So basically that's what it's still 2 speaker events. So it's the same event, it's just a different speaker because the previous speaker canceled.
Okay.
One motion accept the 2 units.
It's not legislated,
It's a good proposal.
which would need several weeks to pass.
Yeah.
Okay, it's up to the Senate whether you want to. Or the Senate Hardy.
I motion to add a hit proposal, cyclists first aid kits to units.
Yeah. The motion at HIV proposed cyclists first aid kits into our site. Gonna call.
Second.
Second, so.
I think we could, if this is a $400 HIP, we could pass this in a financial motion. I don't think it needs to be an HIP and it would be more difficult to accomplish the goal of what the HIP is trying to do because of the regulations that come with an HIP. So that would be my recommendation.
If people are okay with that, I would urge you to move swiftly to assessment.
I have some question, why was this brought up the last Senate meeting?
First,
How's that productive? Harder.
yeah, first of all, I actually read the $400 motion allocation. That makes a lot of sense. Apologies for getting a little antsy with the motion. Secondly, I went to the Pyramid Fellowship thing yesterday, the presentation, spoke to the Pyramid Fellow about this project which was presented yesterday or the day before. And he's afraid that it won't be implemented if it doesn't get acted on in the Senate, essentially.
Point of information, we don't even know what the project is. Like for the rest of the.
Yeah, they have to be introduced on May 20th. Do the second and first one to rescind their thing so you can make it a financial motion or you can pursue an HIV.
Send it.
I motion, no wait, sorry, let's just do this action items. I yield.
On the point of information, is the vote on the regulation on the Senate allocated passed? Does that count as consent for this one?
This one first, like, for the Senate allocated, yeah, that's so far. It's time to make sure.
No, it's a drop in the HIV fund, you have to have an HIV also. Still.
What are we hung up on? No idea. I mean, no, there's a whole sentence through my head. I don't.
How many goals the other one look more copy?
Sorry,
Like, we go over the other ones.
I'm fine with that. Okay, do we have any answers to section G action items?
Sir.
Maybe next time, cool. We're, guys, like an hour more of discipline, and then, please, we're to build to revise the office of the president, leave code discharge out of advocacy without amendments. Oh, no, go ahead. Oh, I was gonna do it separately. Okay, so cool. I motion to discharge a bill to sunset the food bank advisory committee from the advocacy committee.
Been a motion to discharge, bill to sunset the food bank, something from the advocacy committee. Is there a second? Wait,
Second.
second, Dan.
Call the question.
Question, call the question.
That sounds
Good, thanks, Sam. Okay. This was not addressed in the advocacy committee meeting, but
No, so
no.
she went to Sacramento, I went to Texas, so we could not hold a meeting this past week. There's no post amendments for the bill as far as I know, so it's just gonna come back.
Lovely, Trigger.
Oh no, I was just wanting to fix something in the minutes, but I got changed, so.
Is there a second, Sussman?
Second point.
No.
It's just something. I don't know if that's the all motion, right?
Yes, just for
Please, I think it's saying. Sussman.
Motion to adopt the bill to sunset the food bank advisory committee.
There's been a motion to adopt the legislation. Is there a second, John?
Second.
Second, discussion, Harvey. Any further question, consent, any question like consent? It's my little motion, is it?
Four.
Yeah. It's fine. Can you guide people through the motion process? Thank you very much. Motion forward.
Oh.
On the motion, yes.
Who seconded that?
I just, I did. Alright, I read.
Make that motion forward, please. Okay, 1501, motion passes. Great. We're relying the office of president, go to chart of advocacy.
Oh, I would like to make a motion that I have things.
I have them.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's get to that later. Out of advocacy, can the chair speak on it?
yeah, we are ready to open it. Yeah, I mean, it's all in red, there's no purple amendments that we have. Inform.
Okay.
Somebody do something.
Yeah,
Motion to adopt.
thank you. There's been a motion to adopt this legislation. Is there a second? Sure, good. Is there a discussion on? The question is called consent. You guys like consent? What?
Yeah.
Motion 5 for this legislation. Thank you.
That's it.
Okay, there's one person, Mohis. You can let me know.
Yes.
You should probably abstain if you're not familiar with what we're doing.
I read the rest of the policies. Wait, which one are we voting on?
Okay, which one you're not touching?
Oh yeah, wait, this one I already voted yes. Did it not show?
No,
No, I voted yes for this.
you're a yes on motion five.
Yeah, I thought-
Okay,
Wait, I did it like a minute ago.
okay, phenomenal.
Okay,
We're
okay.
at 13:03, motion passes. Great. We're in the bill to revise the eligibility requirements for service as chair of the Senate Finance Committee, guys, if we can please be part of the conversation. Chair of. What?
Finance.
Yes,
Thank you,
wait, I said chair of the finance.
Oh,
Yes, refer it out. Yeah, there's no amendment, so I'm fine with all to be fine.
Okay, awesome.
yeah, thank you, Chair. I'll be brief. Same things I said about this last week. I think this is the best way to give the Senate and a wider range of options when it comes to deciding who finance committee chair is. I will also say, I remember there was concerns that the requirement for placing on non-senator chairs in terms of reporting to the senator, it's too lenient. Given the position that Senator Lee will be assuming in 2 hours, I talked with her about this yesterday. She had the idea of additionally stipulating that a non-senator chair must produce a written report for the Senate every week. I am in favor of that, and if adding that amendment, if adding that amendment to my bill is what it takes to get a broader consensus in favor of it, then I would be happy to open it up that way. But otherwise, everything I have to say this thing's last week. So
Leave.
I was wondering if we could add something about like either the chair, vice chair being a senator, like if one person's a non-senator, one person being a senator. I think it's really valuable having Senator Jong as chair this year, not just for like just her expertise was super helpful and we had the questions or financial motions that came to the Senate floor. I think having a senator is kind of really essential for that constant communication and just that knowledge. So I think it'd be really important to have at least either the chair or vice chair be a senator. So if we could like quickly, if people are open to that, maybe adding that to this bill, I think that'd be nice.
Oh, no. Can we do that in your term? Please?
Yeah, the finance chair is one of the first, and the vice chair presumably one of the first to be hired. I think they have to be like week numbers.
Well, finance committee wouldn't need to meet for the rest of the quarter since money has been exhausted, it's really being clarified. So I think it is related and I do have the floor. I think that it would be a great idea that Vicky makes this decision once she comes in terms after like interviewing everyone and talking to all the senators about their interest about whether to like join the committee. And there will still be like Senate members on the committee and stuff like that, presumably if senators do want to join finance committee. So I feel like this would be better done, as Keizo said, in the next term, especially since finance committee anyways won't officially start meeting until fall.
But guys, in the time it's gonna take to argue. Now I can get this amended and ready for adoption. It'll take 2 minutes, I promise.
I don't think it's necessary. The chair position is appointment position, so if that's what you think is appropriate, just do the same thing when you're appointing positions. It's literally not necessary to codify it, like, it's gonna take too much time. So, yeah, just. Make a motion.
We sorry, hold on, motion going on. There's been a motion for all this legislation, is there a second? Or
Second.
you're saying no discussion, stop.
Question.
Question second.
Alright.
Motion like a second. Seeing none, motion 6. David. There's 5 more people, please.
I'm sorry.
Sure, I hear. As she stated.
Abstain.
Oh. All you are reading out of short. Okay, we're 11:05, motion passes. You'll change something.
Okay. As you guys can see on the agenda, there's a list of motions that need to be made. Those are just all bills and agenda items that were just sent in after the deadline. So if someone wants to go through and get those, it would be much appreciated. Senator Wood.
Yeah, I just have a comment. For everybody, as well as for the new senators in the room. If you don't like something, regardless of why, you're allowed to vote no. You don't just have to abstain because it maintains the balance or whatever. Like, please vote no if you disagree with something. That's how a legislative body functions. I do.
Thanks, Senator. Okay, Senator Dunn.
Motion to amend agenda and add a bill to codify the AS project tracker and then blah, 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 discharge all lines on committee without.
Summary, can you reflect the blah, blah, blah? There's been a motion to amend the agenda and add a bill to codify the AS project tracker. Discharge out of liaison committee without amendments. Is there a second, Senator Wood?
Second.
Motion is moved in second, we're going on discussion, Senator on a whole question. Question's been called. Is there any objection to call the question?
Consent.
Is there any objection to consent? Seeing none, the bill is now on the agenda. Senator on
Looking for voting.
motion to vote.
Oh,
Order?
oh, sorry.
Sorry?
You can't do that.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Do you rescind your motion?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Good. This was written by Senator Jones. You have the floor.
As you recall, we've had the project tracker, as a pilot program this year. Because it is not codified in our legal code, it was not the most efficient use that it could have, and, I fully believe that there has been a lot more communication and, collaboration throughout the association if this had been a requirement, but it was a good trial period to see how it worked. So this bill codifies the project tracker into our legal, as well as assign jurisdiction to the Director of Accountability under the Office of the Internal Vice President.
Thank you. Senator Wiggle, Chair Wiggle, do you have anything to add?
No, I mean, again, we had a lot of the people who were authors of this legislative piece that were present in our committee meeting. I saw no particular additional points. I think this is a great piece of legislation. Didn't see anything else controversial. The documents were also there. Didn't have anything else to additionally amend. So I just, commemorate the work that the office has done and take the time. So.
All right, is there any further discussion there? Seeing none, Senator Sean?
Motion to adopt a bill to, wait, what? A bill to codify the AS project tracker and amend. The name of the bill.
There's been a motion to adopt a bill to codify the AS project tracker. Is there a second, Senator Harder?
Sorry.
Motion has been moved and second, we're on discussion. Senator Manicola.
Question.
Question's been called. Is there any objections to the called question?
That's it.
Is there any objections to consent? Seeing none, we now move into motion 7. Promptly, please.
Chair,
Yes.
for the next two, can we bundle them in a motion to add them?
No,
You can't talk to the votes.
no, and thank you, Senator. Okay, we all good? Senator Togger, how do you vote? Oh, never mind, I apologize, it's yes. Okay, 1500, motion passes, yes. Okay, we now move into the next items. Senator Whittle.
A motion to amend the agenda and add a bill to update the code of the liaison committee. Both the amendments came from the May 19th liaison committee.
There's been a motion to amend the agenda and add a bill to update the legal code liaison committee, discharge all liaison committee with the amendments from Z 519 liaison amendments pages there, second side. Motion to move in second right now, discussion.
Call question.
Question to the public, is there any objection? Call the question. Consent. Is there any objections to consent? Seeing none, motion passes. It's now on the agenda. Sir, Chair, you have the floor.
Okay, to those who are unable to come to this committee meeting, again, I also apologize for the particular thing unable to sit down. Just to clarify about at least this legislation piece, there wasn't anything I would say particularly controversial about it. The main thing about this is that we were removing and revising some particular sections that we thought were already duplicated from other legislative pieces like the department bill, because we were adding stuff that were pertaining towards department chairs being part of the committee, as well as grammatical errors, and just simply just restructuring how we fought with the liaison committee about our members instead of like 2 to 3 members of department chairs. We realized to have 5 of them in there. All the things specifically written there, but it was more of a single item duplication of stuff in our legislation, and we just kind of made it more shortened and kind of revised it to be more concrete. So that's all I would say. Nothing I'd say particularly substantive, but I mean, there is the fiscal impact. I'll be transparent about that in particular. That was already changed, but I would say that it's essential due to the fact that the department chairs will be present in the liaison committee, and that you should have that thing consistent as all of them being there after the discussion. So people have any other questions, they can talk to us about it as well, but I would say that what we changed is very essential to the future of the liaison committee, so, and just department chairs too, so I have that.
Thank you, Chair. The second is, or the first is,
Yeah, we just adjusted it based on what the department chair bill said.
Amazing. Senator Ono.
Motion to vote on it.
It's been a motion to vote on it. There's been a motion to vote on a bill to update the code of liaison committee. Is there a second, Senator? Motion has been moved and second. We're now discussion, Senate Ben. Call the question. Question's been called. Is there any objection to call the question? Is there any objections to that consent? Seeing none, we are now on vote number 8. Damn. No. 8.
Yeah.
Order, please. Order, please. We're in the middle of a vote. Senator.
All right.
No conversation.
Sorry. I apologize.
Senator Wallace is on the privilege. Just 13-0-0 motion passes unanimously. Congratulations. Okay, there's one more, Senator Ono.
Motion to amend the agenda and add a bill to create the AS Professional Services Unit discharge at a liaison committee with amendments on 519 liaison committee amendment age.
There's been a motion to amend the agenda and add a bill to create the AS Professional Services Unit discharge out of liaison committee with amendments on 519 liaison committee amendments page. Is there a second, Senator Harris? Second. Motion's been moved and second. We're now in discussions at the Ben.
Call the question.
Questions or comments or any call the question? Is there any objection to consent? Seeing none, motion passes. It's now on the agenda. Senator Lucan, you have the floor. Or sorry, Senator Whittle, you have the floor. Then Senator.
Yeah, I mean, I think the author can expand about this particularly better than I probably can, but I would say that because we had the authors that were present in the liaison committee meeting, they communicated to us about the amendments that they had to change on this, and I guess you guys can see the amendment page, it could be quite substantive, but it's just talking about one, adding the additional second to this particular legislative and the people talking about it, as well as the additional section that is the professional service unit. You guys can look into it a little bit better, but it's just kind of restructuring about it, like the chief operations officer and additional clauses, so the author can talk about it, but we talked still on this pretty extensively that it should be sound, so nothing I would say is still negative about this, just like what we talked about over the last week, so.
Thank you, Chair. Cynthia.
Last meeting, I requested that if anyone had amendments or suggestions, that they reach out to me or come to the liaison committee meeting. No one reached out to me or came to the liaison committee except for Senator Jung. The amendments that she hoped for and that the liaison committee and I discussed are included. They're very minimal. I'll be very sad if someone has a serious objection to that.
Senator.
Motion to vote on it.
Senators, new senators in the room, the proper way to say it is like motion to adopt, but. Okay, so Senator Arundel loves to say motion to vote first. Okay, there's been a motion to vote on a bill to create the AS Professional Services Unit. Is there a second to vote?
Second.
Motion's been moved and second. We're now in discussion. Senator Sharpen. Question's been called. Is there any objection? Call the question. Is there any objections to consent? Seeing none, we now enter we vote number 9. Number 9.
Well, this is one to be.
Are we all good?
Yes.
The vote is 13-1-0. Motion passes. Senator Harder.
Yes, I motion to allocate $486.86 to this cycle. What do we say this? A motion to allocate $486.86 from set and allocated to this cycle safety kits project.
One second, sorry. The cycle safety kits?
Yes, motion to allocate $486.86 from set and allocated to the cycle safety kits project. And we can discuss what this is in discussion.
There has been a motion to allocate $486.86 to the cycle safety. My apologies, the cycle safety kits project. Is there a second? Senator Johnson.
Yeah.
Motion has been moved and second. We're now in discussion. Senator.
No, I just have a question. Is it okay if you can have that HIP proposal added onto us for something that we can just view? Or something, or I mean.
There is.
Up to center.
We're. We are now in discussion. Senator Wong.
Hey, this, like plan a lot, I've been reading through this, like the proposal thing. There's one thing I'm wondering is when you say that, the kids will be distributed in high traffic biking areas across campus. I'm wondering like, what does this actually look like?
Yeah.
Senator.
Yeah, so basically. The real idea, to give you an insight into what that's gonna look like, the real idea is to hand them out. We wanna give these to VCUs and the outreach committee and all of the gateway and just have them give them out. It's the high traffic biking area specific is not specifically, it's not specific, it's not only that, it's realistically the way that this is gonna work is we're going to give these to the outreach committee and other entities and then have the entities hand them out. Yes. Oh. Yes, so the document is already included in the agenda. However, just to provide some context, basically what this is a safety initiative aimed at probably one of the biggest gaps in safety that we have on this campus. Maybe not biggest, but one of the most overlooked, which is bike safety. People get into bike crashes literally on a daily basis, and I've been into plenty of myself. And there isn't an immediate resource for people who get into a crash if you don't have a first aid kit on you. This is literally $486 to provide hundreds of little tiny first aid kits that have all included in the price, AS branding on it. The idea here is so that people who get into bike crashes have the safety kit on them prepared. So that no need to go much further out of your way. Much further out of your way to park, the things that you need for safety. Quick anecdote, I got into a crash a couple of years ago when I was a sophomore, I believe. And we faced this exact problem, which is why I was so drawn to this proposal. I got into a crash with this kid, his name is Brendan. I haven't seen him since, but I do remember his name. And I didn't get hurt, but he got hurt pretty bad. And we had to literally, I had to literally carry this man to the nearest building and just search for band-aids. And no one had any band-aids. And that's a problem. And it seems like there should definitely be a more systemic solution outside of AS. But obviously AS, by nature, AS is meant to solve some of these problems and fill in the gap. So that is the intention of this. It's only $486.86. And we currently have $11,000 in unallocated. So it's less than 1% of the deals.
Thank you, Senator Senator.
I'm really fine with allocation. I guess I just want to add on to Senator Wong's question on the like handing out part. So are you saying like is this through like outreach committee or like they're just gonna hang out people like how you do tabling and just people take it and that's how the plan is? Oh, okay.
Senator.
For point of information, does the bill, well, that was the question I had asked before. So does the bill that we passed previously allow us to have this motion from Senate allocated? Oh,
Yes, it's as the author of the bill, is the, as a universal good of sorts that's accessible to all students. And the finance committee is adjourning. So the stipulation is that when finance committee is meeting less frequently, Senate allocated can be a source of funds. So this does be pretty good that. Senator,
Call question.
question's been called. Is there any objection to call the question?
Consent.
It is a financial motion, so we can move into revote motion 10. Are there any questions of what's happening? Okay. Sorry?
Yeah.
We're dropping senators like flies. Wow. We are now. Oh. Senator Harder. I wait, no, sorry. We're in the wrong one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not the question. You said I never get you voted no.
Wait, did I? Oh, that was not my intention.
I figured. Sorry.
That's really good. Thank you. Big cat.
Motion passes 13-0. Senator Harder.
wait, point of order.
Yes.
Where is the money transferred to?
It's from Senate unallocated to this project.
Yeah, but the thing is, we need an account to host the project. The project itself is not an account, it's a wrong motion. Into the US.
If that's the case, we could transfer it to outreach committee,
Yeah, that's fine too.
which is account number 460.
Yeah, that.
Oh, that's already passed, it's we have to spend.
Yeah, my bad, I didn't catch it.
No, the best way to approach this in Robert's rules would be to have someone reconsider a previous motion. Sorry. Yes, so if you voted on it and it passed, someone who was of the proponent side can vote to reconsider. So if you voted yes, which 13 of you did, you can vote to reconsider. And then, yeah, it's the best way. Or we can just strike it. Just straight. So
I move to strike the previous motion.
there's been a motion to strike the previous motion. Is there a second, Senator Reese? Motion's been moved and second. We're on discussion. Senator.
All question.
Questions, is there any objection?
Discussion.
Is there any objection? Consent. Seeing none, motion passes. Senator Hart.
A motion to allocate $486.86 from Senate allocated to outreach committee, account number 469. For the cycle safety kits project.
Then a motion to allocate $486.86. Senate allocated to the outreach committee, account number 469. For the cycle safety kits project. Is there a second? Senator Lucan. Motion's been moved and second. We're now discussion. Motion. Questions been called. Is there any objections to call the question? Senator, any objection to consent? Seeing none, we now move into the vote number 11.
And point of order, since we're on topic. The agenda is still doesn't have a section for financial inclusion, which is was passed 3 weeks ago. This is just such a small thing to make FinOps teams like job easier because nobody's gonna read through Senate agenda with 30 pages. well, this, since the next term Senate is here, please do your agenda the way that was revised. That give an extra section for financial motions that people can track for the staff who are using the agenda to track them.
Yeah, Senator John. Senator Harper, something. Motion 11. Senator Fan? Yes. Senator Maltese is absent. Okay, motion passes. Some troubles. Motion passes 13-0. Senator.
Yes, very quickly. I wanted to acknowledge that Tristan Castro is the primary author of this. It's mainly his idea. He is the Pyramid Fellow that I met at the Pyramid Fellowship seminar a couple of days ago. And he just needed some help with formalities and preparing this thing for an actual motion and passing. But in essence, this is all Tristan's work. I just wanted to give him credit for that and also thank the Pyramid Fellowship for providing the forum in which this project was developed. It's an excellent microcosm of the Pyramid Fellowship and all of the good that it can do for the program and all for the associate students. And also, while I have the floor, I wanted to thank Senator John for catching that. That would have been a serious issue. So thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you. Senator Lucan.
I move to amend the agenda and add the upcoming recruiting summit of 2026 doc.
It's still not accessible.
Senator Lucan, if you want to rescind, I have one more thing to do. If you want to rescind, do I welcome right back to it.
We just add it, Sean, make it possible, we can do that too before we talk about it.
Sure. Sarah, on second. Question been moved to second, we're now discussion. Second that. Question been called Sarah, motion to call the vote. Sarah, question been said. Seeing none, motion passes, it's on the agenda. Sorry, we heard the public speaker that came in earlier. We have to go back into it is the proper to go back into the previous agenda, which is on April 22nd. So.
I don't think we have to go to the agenda at all. That was just the recommendation. I think that we can say on the minutes or make a motion and reflect that Dan Siddiqui is the proper author, or had the idea was contributed to this legislation in some capacity. It would be such a waste of time, in my opinion, to go back into the old minutes. Also, I personally will not make any motions related to this, and I think it's a waste of time generally.
Thank you, Sir. Okay, with that being said, Holly, do you have a workable link?
Yes, I put a link in the chat here of the Zoom chat. Can you see that? I just made a copy of it and I put it in the Senate Drive and linked it there, but if you can't access that, then let me know.
You text it to me, the Zoom link is on the other laptop.
Yeah, no worries. Give me just a second.
Thank you.
What do the other?
There is no other thing.
Oh, it's just that.
That's the last thing.
Okay, cool. They actually.
Well, we're on the last. We're waiting for the last thing.
That is correct. Point of information. You, the Senate, remember, we still have to balance the budget for the deficit account, and we did not make a motion last week. Yes.
Yes.
It's not that.
Okay, the link should now work. Is it acceptable to everyone? Is the link accessible? Yes. The agenda item is.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Holly. Okay, I yield chairship back up to you all.
Love it.
Yeah, tell me what Yeah, Holly, if you want the floor or Sean,
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, this was what we talked about. I just say that it's not me, but I'll just move on. It's all on a PDF. These are the 4 positions plus 1 more. The 5th was requested by Michael to the entity position. Sebastian used to be in the position, the financial administrative assistant. And he left many months ago for a different job on campus. So that's the first slide. And as a reminder, these are all already been budgeted for. We have a summary, but we have one available. We have who it supervises or who supervises it, its position, the full salary range. All salary ranges are like really vast, but their advertising range of like what we expect to pay them. And the timeline. These are all summer related because this is the last Senate meeting for this Senate, and we'd like to get it approved so that we can do the hiring over the summer. And rest positions would come later. These are ones that we were designated as more immediately necessary. So it was the financial administrative assistant. It's working with Michael. It's the assistant director of technology, which is the other job I've been doing for the past 15 months. It is the financial operations manager, which is an accountant and more, which will supervise other members also on Michael's team, and save us money actually, because we pay a lot of money towards accounting. And this would eliminate that, which is good. Assistant director of business services, because Phil is retiring, we need to replace that and have someone there to help with generating the revenue that we want to do. And then the advisor for marginalized communities, that's not going to be the name of it. But that's for BWHC, SCORE, Code, and others, pure advising.
Yeah, sorry. I just have one comment just to say for accessibility say maybe it's just me, but this is like incredibly difficult to read. Like it's hard on the eyes. The font is so tiny and the space, no, just in general, like the spacing is kind of like it's like one. I know it's not a big deal to some of you. But like as someone who's like it's kind of hard to read. Also, one of it is like the financial operations manager is just cut off for the like last line, which it doesn't matter because it has no relevance. And then just finally, as we end off things and we approve these, do we have any sort of like further information for this final job that is being created for you? Like, what's the summary for it? Like, I know it says pending in general, but is there any more information that can be given besides the one that you provided?
Right, so this one is supervisor is Holly, it's the over in Hollywood area. This one is based off of an existing job that we have that is essentially just all advising, right? So they're not going to be limited to those groups that I named. It'll be open for if there's other groups that come along that need advising. So it's not going to rewrite everyone's job description every time, which has been a problem, right? Right now, it's just like you advise these 4 groups, and then it's like if some other group comes along with this in the same category, we have to rewrite the whole job description. So we're avoiding that with this one. And so like if Jewish Commission or other groups that came back in, they could fit into like a certain category and become not like as part of the discussion from last week. But it's kind of straightforward. Like they'd be the advisors for these groups that have been under supported historically. So that's not that much more complicated than that. But I can really have additional details. I mean, they'd be going to the meetings. They'd be advising them on their financial systems. They'd be making sure they fill out the paperwork correctly. It's basically just high level advising for all these groups.
Just want
I'm going to suggest, given the fact that remaining lifespan of the Senate is 8 hours, minutes, and given the magnitude of the decision we are considering making today. I think it would be wiser for the 77th Senate to consider this next week. Won't have any other business next week, which means we can dedicate a large amount of time to deliberating on this. And the outgoing senators would be free to come in and comment and, provide their viewpoints to the new senators. But I just, while I'm not necessarily opposed to any of this, any of these new positions, these are ginormous decisions we have to make, and I think that we're gonna get in a rush manner if it's not vote on it tonight. John.
I might have a counter. Just because I'm a little biased, three of the position that was proposed for today, that, I mean, it's fine that we vote approval on like every single one basis, right? We don't have to collectively approve all of them. But I would say three of them are related to FinOp operation, one of them is advising and the other one is pending because there's not much of a detail. I would say at least, I would hope, the others for like director of technology, which we already know is need to be filled because Sean is assuming this, that is a position that you're, right? So we don't want Sean to do like 3 all the time. I would say those are pretty like discussed and solidified, needed position for a while. So I would recommend at least approve the technology one and 1 to 2 financial operation officer, just because the hiring process also takes forever. So if this one stalls, then that one stalls, that we'll have like half a year with no people filling out the position. He's typically about this. So that would be my recommendation, at least approve 1, 2, 3, so that have to approve it, but that would be fine.
Sussman, look. Yeah, thank you, Sean. I think that Senator Giacomo's point of this being a monumental choice that the Senate is making. We're not seeking to hire today, or the association is not seeking to hire today, but just obviously any positions that will be hired next year. Sean, please correct me if I'm wrong, will have to be approved by the 77th Senate anyway. So the 77th Senate will still have purview over who's being hired, but this will just allow for the process to start.
Less than,
Yeah.
oh, you're right, sorry. Yeah.
I just concur with Senator Jones and Senator Sussman's sentiments. Also, Senator Giacomo, it's very respectful when you bring up a point to listen to the people that respond to your point.
Oh, okay. We're all feeling the intention of wanting to stay here as long as possible. So.
Motion to adopt the upcoming recruitment summer 2026 PDF.
There's been a motion to adopt this PDF. Is there a second? Oh no. We'll go just. Okay, second. It's my intention to have this be a leave vote if the seat is well important enough. It's not also just one.
I request this line item vote. You order on conditions. I rescind my motion.
Arch.
I rescind my motion.
Works, please. Second, I'm using Can we still just vote on it as a form of procedure for like this monitors or is that? Okay, Harrison. Versus the student. Sussman.
Motion to vote.
Sorry,
Motion to vote on the financial administrative assistance for the 2026.
Somebody please keep up with the names. Jones is typing at like JFK speed. Instead you've got like 1,200 words in it. There's been a motion to vote.
There's been a motion to vote on the financial administrative assistant hiring for the summer 2026.
There's been a motion to vote on the financial administrative assistant position for the summer 2026 cycle. You can already do somewhere. In some. Yeah, there's been a motion to vote on the financial administrative assistant position in the summer 2026 cycle. Is there a second?
Second.
A second. Is there a special Lugan?
Chair, can you just clarify for everyone so we all know what we're voting on, exactly what it is, if we're voting yes or no on this, if the question's called?
Somebody want to take that?
Sure. If we vote no, that means that HR, Lily, and Sean will not be able to move forward with hiring these positions at the summer. Even though we allocated funds to the budget process. We vote yes, that means that this Senate gives them time to go ahead, so that way they can start hiring these positions.
And so if what you said is true, which I agree with you in my interpretation of what we are doing, I think we should amend the motion language to be like very clear, because motion to vote on this position doesn't make any sense. Sure.
So do you want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
So amend,
Oh, yeah.
do you want to amend the original or? Yeah.
I move to amend the previous motion to read. Motion to approve
The job description.
the description of the financial administrative assistant position. And for Sean and for the executive director and HR to continue with the hiring process for the position.
Thank you. There's been a motion, amend the previous motion to read the motion to approve the description of the financial administrative assistant position. And for the executive director to continue with the hiring process for this position.
And HR.
The executive director and HR. There's a second, right?
Second.
There's been a second one now discussion. Like, question, you call for the question? Consent. Okay, you like consent? Being none, motion passes, now you've amended the original motion to read what it now reads, to not pass anything. Okay,
Call the question.
Brilliant. Question, call the question?
Consent.
You guys like consent? We move into a leave vote as we just talked about. If this matters. Motion to. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna be going after it. Okay, guys, we're plus 16 people. Well. So how many people are we at? Yeah, you're 16 lines and. You want me to vote? What's your call? Okay, 1501 passes. Husband.
Motion to approve the description of the Assistant Director of Technology position for the Executive Director and HR to continue with the hiring process for these.
Motion to approve the description of the Assistant Director of Technology position for the Executive Director and HR to continue with the hiring process for this position. There's a second on it. Sorry, there's been a second round of discussion. Hello, Lee? Like what you call? Any other question? Any like I said? Motion 13. Let's do 13 seconds on this. Let's break a record.
Yes.
Yo, don't actually know. You know what?
Why is it vote just for me?
Order.
I'm gonna cry.
Order, please.
Guys, please. The modeling, modeling. There's one person on the vote. No, no, I don't know.
But yeah, if I didn't need this video.
Okay, 1510. Motion passed. Thank you, Sussman.
Motion to approve the description of the financial operations position. Sorry. Yeah, motion to approve the description of the financial operations position for the director and HR to continue with the hiring process for the position.
For the financial operation.
Manager, sorry.
as in financial operations manager position?
Yeah.
There's been a motion to approve the description of financial operations manager position for the executive director and HR to continue with the hiring process for this position. Is there a second? No, second. There's a second, no discussion, leave. The question, you call me the question, consent, motion 14. All right. All right, I'll take it slower.
I'm for this.
We have time for you guys to vote. Four more of you.
So
Marquise, Wang, Wahidula.
It's not, I don't know why it's not.
Okay, clean 60 mil. Let's go. Next thing. Which passes, looking.
Just out of just wondering, which position specifically did you have issues with?
The last one.
Okay. Well, how many are left? One. Okay, so that's one. Besides that one.
Sorry, can my presence be reflected in the agenda?
Sure.
Thank you.
Well, you've been here from the beginning, right?
I was a little late.
Presently. Are you making sure you're built? Oh. Okay, two more.
Motion to approve the description of the assistant business services, the assistant director of business services. And for the executive director and the HR to continue with the hiring process for this position.
Just need a motion to approve the description of the assistant director of business services position for the executive director and HR to continue with the hiring process of this position. Is there a second round? Second round, Mr. Wayne.
Question.
The question, we call it, president. Any additional consent? Motion 15. I'm not even gonna look at the spreadsheet. I would just trust in my colleagues in the process. First one. First one. You're not even voting, please. I don't know. You're questioning my intention.
I don't know what's going on about.
Yes,
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 to this day.
do you know what?
Incredible. That was super. Thank you, guys. 15-1 motion passes. I believe there's one more.
Yes. Motion to approve the description of the advisor for market BCUs for the executive director and HR to continue with the hiring process for this position.
Is there a motion to approve the description of the advisor for market BCUs and for the executive director and HR to continue with the hiring process for this position? Is there a second, Dan?
Second.
There's a second round of discussion. Are you calling or? Wait, again?
I would like to hear what the
Phenomenal. Oh, sorry. This one?
Yeah, I'm not in support of creating a job position if the someone's looking. Period. I think that's incredibly irresponsible to do. Bring this back to a description with a description and we can give it full consideration, but we can't give it consideration if I don't have a description of what this job is supposed to do. It would be incredibly irresponsible to create this position under the circumstances.
Oh, no.
Just a quick question for Sean. Are all the advisor positions also under UAW? Like this, okay.
I fully concur with Senator Diaz-Simonian. I think the motions that we've been passing say motion to approve the description of the positions. And this position has no description, so we'd be making a different motion. It wouldn't be in line with what else we've done. And again, the next Senate can consider this next week. So I would hope we don't make a motion on this and we move on, or if there is a motion, how are we voting now?
Motion has been made just for so.
Yeah, I do concur as well. I think it's. We typically don't vote on bills that are unfinished or legislation that is otherwise erroneous. So I would like to rescind my first. It's not a matter of substance with the advisor, but a matter of knowing where the advisor is going to be positioned, which BCUs they're going to oversee. So again, not a merit, an issue of merit, but an issue.
I have to rescind my second.
Oh, you don't want to?
No, I wanna say this. I again agree with all of you. I will say that we did ask Sean when he came up, that was one of my questions to him, and he did say it was similar to all the advisors, which is why they didn't like believe they needed or sorry, don't wanna put words in his mouth, but why like the summary maybe wasn't necessary to me as a senator and with all of you, I again like agree, I think there needs to be a description. Gave the reason of like if there are different BCUs and and if things change, which I understand, but we do want a description. We're asking to approve the descriptions. I rescind my second. I rescind it first.
Peace in the world.
Budget? It doesn't have to be.
There was. Are you introducing like a PDF?
No, we just need to do a motion, basically allow the FinOp team to have the capacity to balance out budget that. It's also. Basically, yeah, I'm gonna type the motion to you so that, okay,
Thank you, Chair.
yeah, no problem, Chair.
Well, in the meantime, committee reports indeed center something that's a phenomenal idea. Let's not start with the standing committee on finance outreach.
You want to throw to the vice chair, yes,
No, nothing has changed from the previous, from our previous update. Everything remains the same. I yield.
You do, you see, guys. Okay, any questions? No. Liaison?
No, nothing much. I'm just proud of our committee members. I mean, like I was mentioned, I think previously before, a lot of I think substantive change has happened, I think, when it comes to internal operations, and I think in a very positive manner. So I'm very proud of our committee and all the work they've done and all the events it's doing, the mixers. I'm just really proud of all the consistency. So it's all to mention about.
Questions? I don't see.
I still have my tabling stuff. I'm gonna hand it out even after we term out because I would like student dollars to go to the students and not in my room. So I will text you all if you want to help out, rep the association. I'd encourage new senators as well to show up if you want to put yourself out there. Even if it's in this academic year and I'm next. And yeah, it's been great. So keep you posted on that. Questions? What are you doing? I was reading, I don't know what you were doing. Okay, no questions. Let's move quickly back into standing committee on finance. Do you have any report?
I don't have a report. I do have a call to action though, for any incoming senators, please join the Senate Finance Committee. Nobody, it's a very hard job, I get it, but nobody do it, nobody sacrifice, take it for the group. We're gonna be really too, okay? It's for the financial responsibility of the association. And I would really appreciate it, and if anything you guys wanna know about finance, please let me know. Okay. Yeah, we did great.
Back to the calls. Take
Yeah.
one, do consider
Big
finance.
one, big one.
You see how relaxed Jenny looked? Okay, do you have unanimous consent to move back into section consent? Why am I like this? G action items? Consent. Consent, okay, go.
Motion to grant the authority of balancing deficit accounts for fiscal year 2025 to run into accounts. Fiscal year 26 budget to the FinOp staff. There's a better way for it to be.
You do meet 25 and 26, right? 26.
Yeah,
Oh. There's been a motion to grant the authority of balancing deficit accounts for FY 2025 to run to the accounts. FY 26 budget to the financial operations staff. Is there a second? Oh no, sorry, just been a second discussion. So question, any further questions? Thank you for making consent. That's not strictly financial, right?
Motion 16.
The big motion.
You did one to
16. Okay, let's do it in 16 seconds.
So it's complete. She didn't want you to say good job.
Wait, Stelsman, say that out loud so we can all congratulate. We're in the middle of the, sorry, that's. Guys, there's two people, where's Jones is not here. Where's Jones? Reese, you said?
Yes.
Okay, cool, so 9:07. Motion passes.
Yeah.
You got that? You got that?
907. It's not.
It should be 9:06. I put a thing for Lisa, she's absent.
I moved her, I'm marking the absent. There should be
I'm telling you that, it's 9:06.
906. 1006.
We're now talented.
So Reese is absent.
10:06, motion passes, can you please reflect that? Okay, there's nothing else on. Action item, all right, yeah. Right?
Sure. For sure.
That was a question.
For sure.
Okay, sure. Guys, Sean, do we have next to move into section I5 project temporary committees? What's up?
Okay, just very quickly, I wanna ask everyone to just please keep their composure until we term out. We are all losing our discipline in one facet or another, and it's starting to get a little bit ridiculous.
Okay, I'm just consent to move into section I5 project temporary committees.
That's
Any consent, cool. Anyone? Projects temporary committees, something?
Library project, Chief Fly just finalized the MOU.
That was like 5 buzzwords, probably the.
Yeah, so for new senators, and for people within the room, the library was looking to cut hours next year simply on a budgetary mission, just because they didn't receive enough funds from the state. The library is funded publicly by the state of California taxpayers, not through the university. Because of that, they had to reduce hours for next year, but with residual funds from associated students, the student safety partners from UCPD are going to continue to work in the fall of next year and operate at the same hours that we are operating at currently. So because that the memorandum of understanding, or MOU for short, was signed, that is now in full operation for the fall, and we are looking for donors for the remainder of the school year next year. Hopefully return back to 24/7 late night study. That just happened seconds ago. Thank you.
Let's move into section J, minutes and allocations. Who said? Dan, last chance to shine.
Nothing, it's just that I forgot to put one in.
Go ahead.
Do you wanna wait on that last, I can do that for the next.
Wait, what?
On the like meeting minutes. I can do that for the next.
You have to put it in that results.
We're gonna do appointments and allocation.
Yeah, let's move into appointments and resignations. Done.
Order to bundle approval all appointments and resignations.
It's just single, right? It's single. There's been a motion to bundle approve all appointments and resignations. There's a second, Lucan. Lucan. We want a model for the next set of behavior so we can have it on the record. Lucan.
Second.
Appreciate it. There's been a second round of discussion. Is it Lee?
Yes.
You guys have like similar question. Question? Any additional consent? Seeing the motions passes. I smell stuff. What?
We have to adjourn. It's
No, it's going.
It's recess.
We don't.
We're done.
No, we're wrapping up. Why would we recess? Of course I will. I'm just trying to wrap everything up before that. Okay. Let's, move to section J, minutes and allocations. Okay, jump.
Order to bundle approve all minutes and allocations.
Is there a motion to approve all minutes and allocations? Is there a second, Maltese? There's been a second, we're in discussion. Oh, no, call question. Questions, call the question? Any good, thanks, Seth. Motion passes. Anything on special items? Remarks? Acceptance of agenda? Okay.
Motion to accept the agenda.
Oh, why would you feel like that? You're not running the class tonight, okay. There's been a motion to accept the agenda as amended. Is there a second, Maltese? Then a second, no discussion, Lee? Question, call, shall I question? Thanks, Seth. It's been the pleasure and the honor of a lifetime to chair the Senate with you all. I think we came into a situation of disorder and not knowing exactly what we were gonna do and facing significant challenges. And I think we put order, I think we accomplished some truly major things, from the library to public safety to God knows how many HIPs. We have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on impact. We've treated each other more or less humanely and in a way that we can be proud of and that we would want future generations of student leadership to model as well. We've stood up for student sovereignty, from our beloved execs who are in the room with us, to here in the Senate. It's been difficult as any term is meant, it is bound to be, but I think we can absolutely be proud of our service here, and I'm proud to have served alongside each and every one of you. Thank you so much for making this the year of it. Let's move into section of adjournment. Just wanted.
Motion to adjourn the 76 minutes in AD at 9:00. I can listen. That's fine. It's so much. Adjourn to AD means dissolve. That's what comes off.
I don't care about the spice. You guys,
No one has to second that.
Yeah, okay.
Fine. Rescinded.
Senator Luke.
Awesome.
I motion to dissolve the 76th.
There's been a motion to dissolve, by the way, it's not adjournment, so we have to go through the whole thing. There's been a motion to dissolve the 76th Senate. Is there a second? Oh no, second. There's been a second round of discussion. Do you just want in?
On question.
The question is, we call judge call a question?
Yeah.
Just by consent? Seeing none. About to make the.
I'm not done yet. I just